Junebug and Thunder Rains also still. I'm not sure about Junebug actually, but I think Thunder Rains is very PM still P plus. So
Nice. Yeah, Junebug is sick. I used to hang out with him a lot at like various tournaments and stuff. He was always super fun. Like when he was a Sheik main and I was still active in that way. Yeah, he was always a super chill guy, and I asked him a lot of annoying questions about like P plus for sure. I think at the time Diddy was really good. I don't know if Diddy's still good.
yeah, he's I think he's still I tier. But yeah, Diddy is just a very interesting character. I feel like a lot of characters have so much in that game. Like
Yeah.
you can, yeah, like Mario with the Doctor. Like he just completely revitalized the character and stuff. Like people always come around and like find a character, and then like the whole like perception of the tier list is just completely flipped on its head. There's so many like good characters that could do good things.
That's really good. I do think that some imbalance is healthy for a game, just for allowing metagames to stabilize and be directed. But I think that like if it's a really good game, there should be good enough bones that like you can still take lower end characters far, but like there's a clear benefit to the best characters that allows them to kind of guide the metagame, so you don't have to like it's not as daunting to get into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk. Like, so you've been. I'm thrilled to hear what I'm hearing. Like, it sounds like you've been able to focus way better. That's fantastic. So the changes to your practice routine and stuff like that. That's really giving you some good return.
Yeah. So recently I've just been practicing just without anything, mostly silence or just like the game sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also been in the lab a bit more, mainly just practicing movement because I haven't done that in like a month or so. I mean, like I always move in games, but like specific like working on clean shines and like out of shield stuff and all that.
Refining your
And
basics, absolutely.
yeah, and and just in general, I feel like way more like locked into a game and not worrying about like surroundings or other sounds and stuff like that. And just like really keeping my focus and also it's helped me like transition in and out of the game too because like I talked with some people in our scene. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Warmer or Casey, another Falco, but
Uh, I think I might have heard the tags or seen them, but I don't know of them.
yeah, so she her tag used to be Warmer and changed it to Casey, and she was like number one or two in her state and then moved here in Colorado. But she was talking about how she was very adamant about letting people know when, or like having the TOs notify her when her match is coming up, because uh, she feels like she has to like be focused in for the entire tournament, and she wants to like know exactly.
Okay.
And for me, I was also realizing I was doing a lot of the same thing, but it was more so like stressing over the fact like, oh, when's my next game going to be? That kind of thing, and that kind of added to that anxiety we talked about.
Ah, gotcha. So like it's the uncertainty of knowing when your match is going to be called and coming up. So
Yeah,
then okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
and like peeking at the bracket, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just like the, but just the transition from, just in the tournament, like actually playing your matches and then like waiting on your matches and then just being chill during that wait time and just kind of like recollecting and just like being chill. That has also been like way better. Like I haven't really felt dread or anything. Like it's been like pretty fun all the way through.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Like it sounds like you're more engaged. It sounds like you're enjoying your time more. You're having more fun, but you're also less stressed. These all sound like great improvements.
Yeah. And I think another thing that helped is I have been going to like these P plus slash melee things. But I'm mainly focusing like more on melee as like competition wise. But just the environment of like the other games and like new people to talk to have also helped, I feel.
What do you feel? What do
Um,
you think you get from that?
um, Honestly, I'm not really sure. I think it's just I love learning and like just seeing people play these weird characters from like other games and just kind of like sucking in new knowledge. It helps like keep my mind, I guess, engaged in a way. Where
Yeah.
like at a melee tournament, like I've been to a lot of them and like I know a lot of the same people. Like it kind of gets in like I guess like a pattern to where it's like I don't know, I'm a little bit more prone to just kind of like writing stuff out. I don't know how to describe it.
I think that it's that the melee, from the impression I get from what you're describing, is the melee environment is a lot more rehearsed and practiced because you've just got more experience in it. But
Yeah.
you're somebody who really likes to see, who really values novelty. You like seeing new things, you like experimenting, and it sounds like mixed events, like the P plus and melee events, offer you a little bit more of that novelty side that you like. So it sounds like it's just a different source of fulfillment.
Yeah, and like to expand on that, I have also been super into like Mario 64 speedrunning recently. I've been messing around doing 16-star speedruns
Nice.
and also like learning about Smash 64 because there's a few Smash 64 players that are seen too, and I want to enter a bracket at Boulder sometime. So it's just like a lot of different spots are like filling up that kind of niche for my brain, and just like getting to talk with more people has like made me I don't know, feel more like engaged at events, like Smash events as a whole, because I just have a lot more to like talk about. Like it feels like I don't know, it's a lot harder to worry about stuff, I guess, is the best way to describe it.
No, I know exactly what you mean. So, like, one of the things when I interviewed Meds that I asked him about was if he thinks that, like, because he's a little bit older than like the average player, but with it, he's got a marriage, he's got three young bright kids, he's got family in Mexico that he like is stays in close contact with, and he's got a full time job. So it's just I asked him like, do you think that there's any advantages to having like these other sources of fulfillment? And he was just like, absolutely, because when I go to the tournament, I know that whether I win, lose, or draw, I have all these other things like in my life that are going well. So this isn't like I'm not all in on this, but so I have no pressure to perform. I can just show up, do however I do, and I'm good with and I can be okay with that. Like I can live with that. So I think that what you're really tapping into is kind of like a different version of that, like a very like the same idea, but just in your own way, because it's you have all these other things going on, you have all these other areas of your life that are working well for you, and yeah, it just makes it easier to have less pressure on yourself to do well in melee because you're just more like you're where you're getting enjoyment and fulfillment for life is just more well rounded.
Yeah, it's everything's a lot more balanced, where Melee felt like a larger weight, or a lot of my focus was just on Melee and how I was doing in there.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like stuff like I feel more zoomed out and like I could see stuff like wider, I guess, and just like focus on like other things. But like and doing that also is just, taking away a lot of the anxiety about, tournament and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So like yeah, definitely well rounded, like you said.
And the irony is, I bet you're playing better lately on average too.
Yeah. I would definitely say
Like,
that.
the secret was to not try. Who knew? Mango had it right all along. Um, I mean, to be fair, he's like, say what you will about his like, his ups and downs lately, but like he's been playing at the very highest levels of play for like a very long time. So there is a
Yeah.
method to it. There has to be a method to the madness, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about this set that you want to go over. Or if unless you want to continue on this, like again, I don't know how you foresee this time being productive, but yeah, where do you want to go from here?
So I just wanted to mention the P plus thing because I feel like it was like a very good example of like what we were talking about in terms of like my focus and just like being more present in the set
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like seeing what my opponent's doing. But I also have a couple of games where I don't do very well, and it's in melee versus a fox.
Okay.
Because in melee, I've been kind of hitting a wall with the foxes. The foxes in Colorado have gotten really good lately, and especially versus Falco. So I'm fine with either or. Um,
Which one is more important to you?
I think I'll want to go over the Fox stuff now because, like I said, with the P plus stuff, it's a different game, and I feel like it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just one of those things that like I was really proud of the set.
Well, why don't we make sure to take a few minutes at the end to look at that? But we'll keep the focus on the melee stuff at least for the majority of the session.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to really mention the people and stuff because it just felt like everything really came together what we were talking about. So I'm gonna try and send you the files here
Perfect.
in a second. Yeah, Discord is updating on my computer right now.
It's all good.
I usually voice call on mobile. It's just easier.
No worries, no worries. So talk to me like while Discord's doing its thing. So is it's something specific that the Fox players are doing that you're finding is more challenging, or is it just kind of like everything? Like, what have they changed?
So for a while, it's like, it's always a seesaw balance with melee matchups. Like, you're bad at like one or two, so you work on those one or two, and then like the other matchups kind of fall behind. It's always like,
oh yeah,
for me, it always feels like a seesaw.
Yep.
And recently, Fox has been the character on the low end who's been breaking that balance. And the main thing is it feels like I don't have as good control versus them as I feel like I used to. And I think it's either like how I'm using laser or just I either feel like scared in spots where it's like I'm not really sure what to do, so I'm gonna laser, and then I get hit because I back up into the corner, and then they like full send a shine or like nair shine me during that like animation.
Gotcha.
Or like I don't know, it feels so hard to pin Fox down now compared to how I used to play, or at least how it used to feel, where it's just like I could just find something and then kill them off it. Now it's just like way harder. At least it feels that way.
I can definitely understand that feeling versus like Fox for sure. So I find that with Foxes, usually like there's a couple culprits behind it, but let me just label these. So Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and context between both of these, this is versus Zealot, who was #1 in Colorado and is not considered a hidden boss, mainly just because he doesn't reach attendance requirements, but he's still really, really good. Like, definitely still top 3. Like, like you could enter it and then just win something.
Okay.
And his Fox feels like he
Yoshi's
knows
is game
exactly
one,
what.
right? Or is Yoshi's is game one, or is Dreamland game one?
So Dreamland. So this is a couple games from like a long session.
Okay.
And Yoshi's was way earlier in the session, and I feel like it's the stage I'm comfortable on, and this is like the way closer game. And then I added this Dreamland game for like context because I get like absolutely bodied and I look like I'm flailing around.
Okay.
So yeah, I kind of want to just like compare and contrast to see like what really like went wrong.
Sure. So what I'll do is let me just set this up. We'll get this playing. I will share my screen and we'll take it from there. Let me just fix one thing and then we can go. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, cool. So let's start. Why don't we start with Yoshi's? Does that make sense, or do you want to start with Dreamland?
With Yoshi's, because I
Okay.
feel like I did a lot of things right, or like at least was comfortable.
Okay.
And I still lose, but like I felt like I played way better here.
Gotcha. Okay. So you can see?
Yep.
Okay, I've got it on 70% just so we can kind of like see what's going on. So why the up smash?
Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Okay, I have my book out now. I just didn't have my stuff out to write.
No worries.
Okay,
So
so up
okay, so,
smash.
so like we start the game with this laser grab. So first of all, I'd wonder like, is he too is like, do we expect that this laser grab is going to work from that far away?
I feel like I usually catch people just moving in the center a lot. So I don't know. That's just like I think it was just like an open up where I wasn't really thinking much. But I saw like the shield and like the laser connect with the shield, so I'm just like I might as well try for the grab.
Okay, is there anything that might be like, so I think that this is a good starting point for like for us to understand why this guy might be tough. Because you're the rationale that I've been provided, to summarize, is I saw this and this like usually works, right?
Yeah.
So, but if we look at this situation structurally, Fox has like a million things he can do to like beat this grab. Like, what if he full hops out of shield, right? What if he, which is a very common thing that he might do, especially with the platform configuration nearby, to
Yeah.
deal with this. What if he wave dashes this way, which I think is what he does actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this gives him a counter hit. This is why we get shined. So I think that like the first thing I would say is I think we need to like maybe let's take our time a bit more.
Okay.
Especially if we're not in a
That makes
position.
sense.
Yeah, like especially if we're not in a position where we're like able to defend against this. I know that like fiction says that if you get the first short hop laser and they shield it, the second one is basically guaranteed. Like the second one is basically guaranteed, and I kind of agree with him here. Because like once this laser is coming out, what happens if we just instead of this, we just short hop laser forward again? Like,
He'd still kind of be, yeah, he'd still be stuck as long as I do like a medium or high-ish one. Also, I have heard that before, the two laser rule.
yeah. So
Definitely need to be more conscious of that.
yeah. So we've just. So I think let's make a note of this. So we start from here. Wait, what's your favorite color? You like blue, right? If I recall, or do I have it wrong?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like blue.
So we open the match here in this one. We come off the platform with our laser for 2, and then, which is how we get this thing out. So 2 would be laser, and then for 3, like if we want to shoot another one, like with this hitting his shield, he's not actionable. I think that for 3, like what makes sense here is like in place we short hop forward like this and just shoot again. I think that you could also make a case you maybe shoot somewhere else, but I think high laser makes a lot of sense here. I think that to like try to cut him off. I don't know if that's actually where it hits. It's probably higher, probably around like here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. So what the difference between high and mid height laser here on the 3? What do you think like the pros and cons are?
So shooting it high, it's gonna avoid him power shielding it, most likely, and it's also gonna catch him jumping. Um, but like if he doesn't jump, he could also like he still has like movement on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, the mid laser, while it could be power shielded, it's gonna stop his horizontal movement, or at least make it harder for him to move. So it kind of like gets him stuck, and like it will be easier for me to get like a grounded shine, stuff like that.
Perfect. And if he wave dash, like I think, and based on that, which one do you think he's more likely to do? Like full hop, or do you think he's like more likely to wave dash without knowing that he's going to like, without knowing what he's doing? Like, which one do you think he's more likely to do, just from your experience against him?
Versus him specifically, I feel like he's way more grounded compared to a lot of other foxes.
That makes
In
sense.
my experience, I usually try and find or like look for people short hopping in the corner and like trying to hit him or like hit a fox out of the corner. But with him, he's very, very grounded or like knows when to jump, if that makes sense. He picks his spots better.
Okay, got it. So he very good at repositioning, and very good at knowing when a fight isn't worth pursuing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's label these steps. Laser, laser to ground. And then once we're on the ground, what we go for here is dash JC grab, but we're thinking we can short hop laser again. which makes perfect sense to me. The only other thing I'd add is that I think that there is merit to this grab, and if we know that he is going to, I think there's merit to like kind of taking a more aggressive line here if we know that he likes to reposition. What do you think that, like, especially one that involves like kind of a grab or like a way of like breaking his shield if he continues to use that as his like level 1, what do you think that would look like?
So if he continues the shield, like, where would I go from there?
If we know he's not going to full hop, like he's going to take a more defensive line, because the purpose of the full hop is it's active defense, right? Because he goes up here, then can come down with back air and stuff. So there's like, he's avoiding us, but he's also presenting a threat. If he wave dashes over here, he's not really doing that, and if he continues to shield, he's not really doing that either. So what I'm asking is there a way that we can cover both of those kinds of those core outcomes with a more powerful play that maybe isn't good versus the full hop, but maybe is good versus like him shielding or moving away from us?
I think just like, I guess aerial pressure, like low nairs or like low aerials, I guess, if he's like staying in shield. And if he's moving away, then I could also just like laser forward. It's mainly just like kind of being like based from him is kind of just what I'm thinking.
So I would agree with that. So let's think about like, the only thing I'd comment is if we're doing low aerial pressure, the only thing I don't like about that is that if he just wave dashes away, then he's fine, right? Because he probably gets counter hit. So is there a move that we can do that like deals with both problems?
I guess we could just like keep lasering or just like keep that kind of area and like wait for him to, I guess, do something else other than those things.
What about approaching laser?
Yeah, I could definitely approaching laser is kind of another thought. Like I could approach laser into shine grab.
Or double shine or whatever. Like, yeah, like we approaching laser his shield, and then if he wave dashes away, the laser tracks him into the corner, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Seems...
Oh, I see. Yeah, it covers both spots.
Yeah. It's not good versus the full hop, which I'll admit, but neither was this dash jump cancel grab. So I'm thinking like, if that's the case, this deals with him blocking and it deals with him. So approaching short hop laser, I think, is another thing we might want to consider here.
Okay. I think I've been decentralized from doing that laser, mainly because I get like up tilted from it a lot. But in here, if he's shielding, then there's no real reason to like expect it, especially when I'm like at 0.
Yeah, and if he back airs out of shield, which would be the other one, I'm pretty sure like we just like hold down and like get him anyway.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm breaking down this specific, and there's other things we can do, like we could also dash dance, like dashing forward if we think he's gonna full hop makes a lot of sense to me here, because we could dash here, like we could dash to about this point, and then like try to like turn around and back air, things like that, to hit him in like this kind of like box, like this kind of box up here, right?
Yeah.
So like I think there's like a lot of other lines of play here that are worth considering, but the point I'm trying to make here is these are options that are like just very similar to the things you're already doing. They just cover like more options overall and give you more like range versus like the things he can do. And I think that's really what we're missing here, because when I see this like grab, what I see is we're covering one option. But we don't have to. We're Falco. We're much better than, we're like so above covering one option. So yeah, that's the only thing I'm kind of like trying to get at here.
Okay. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I should probably start like viewing things like not really limiting their options, but just like covering more space. Because I definitely look for someone to do like one specific thing, or I see someone do something, and my brain just like, oh, I see shield, press grab button or something.
And honestly, that's like pretty, to get to the point where you can do that with intention is really, really important, because that's really the first step to being able to like then expand that coverage with more intention and like more sophisticated plays. You need that building block before you can do things like this. So don't feel like, one thing I want to emphasize, don't feel bad if you're not doing this stuff, like if you're not looking at it for like this yet, because yeah, you have like the foundations you have, if you're already playing with intention, this stuff will come easier in that case. What was that get-up attack? He was nowhere near you.
I think I just like pressed a button, like a shine or something, and just like did a get up attack without like meaning to. But I could have also just did it. So
Gotcha. So now talk me through these combo choices. Like, so we have this shine that we're gonna hit. What are we supposed to do with this? Like, we've got this bear, we've got this shine. Did you not expect to hit him? Because we go for back air after.
Yeah, that back air is very strange. Usually I do like shine, wave land. I think I was just trying to like push him away from me, and like I wasn't really thinking about like extending anything.
Gotcha.
Like I was trying to get him in like a more comfortable position for me, but I feel like I kind of just let something go.
Gotcha. Okay. And I think that like that's kind of what we're seeing. Like we're not terribly comfortable with what he's doing and what's going on. So we're just kind of like these feel like panic options almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely felt I always feel uncomfortable playing versus this fox because he's just like not in spots where like I expect him to be. Like again with like that laser grab, like I get that like maybe 80% of the time, and then like I get it like pretty much never versus him, and he's just in like different spots.
Yeah, and I think that like the reaction point that we have for like our different options here are like is a little. I feel like this is a very planned up tilt that we go for here, on this, but with him coming off of the platform like this, you're actually already in a really good spot for him. Like you're already in a pretty good spot for dealing with him in like leading up to that, and I'll show you why. Let me just go back a bit. So like here, so when you walk here, you're actually, this is like the perfect spot to be in against Fox's like platform game, like side platform game, and I'll show you why. So
yeah,
you know, because yeah, you can see it, right? Because like if he wants to hit you like here, he has to basically jump on you. If he wants to like, which gives him access to these ranges over here, but he still has to do that like jump, which means that you can just move this way. And if he wants to come off with immediate aerial, he doesn't hit you. So like, because you're here, he has to go up in his jump, which means that this is your reaction window, basically. Like the movement to the edge of the platform or the movement forward, and then the jump that he does to rise and fall. This is like what you have to react, but then yeah, I think you're kind of you're kind of like thinking that he's going to be, I think that you think that he's more actionable than he is, or like somewhere else, and then you go for this up tilt, but yeah, like you didn't have to actually move to like hit him, because that could have been I think you could have just up tilted in place, honestly, and probably like if you'd stopped walking slightly sooner, I think you could have just up tilted where you were and gotten him.
Yeah, I think I was watching him and I was expecting to do an up tilt, but then he landed further away. So I'm like, oh, I'll move into him. But my inputs were late. At least that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
But like in my head, like I did all those aerials, and thinking back to it, I probably was just like still a little bit in that panic.
Yeah. I think that like one thing I would recommend is like use the panic buttons that are appropriate for the opponent's character. It takes a lot for me to like justify doing something that is not shine as my panic button in close quarters versus Falco, especially if I'm moving into him. You know what I mean? Because it's just like the up tilt.
Yeah.
The up tilt is not as safe. It doesn't like. I feel like if we're already creating a situation where we're close to him, then like yeah, that is. Like, that's really all there is to it.
Yeah.
Nice conversion. Let's talk about shield pressure. So, how do you approach shield pressure against this character?
So, usually it's like shine, aerial back, or like shine grab. Like, I try and keep it like short, and like, if I do early aerials, then I'm drifting them away like a back air, and like a back air or down air. And then like if I'm like going into him, like from laser, then it's like shine and then like really low nair. Sometimes I like mess up the down air, like here. Like I do it like like this is a decent down air, but sometimes I just like do it into them instead of drifting away.
Okay. So, uh, what have you ever seen Mango? Like, do you ever see Falco players do like Sheik, kind of like Sheik style aerials on shield? What it looks like is usually they'll be like tipped, there'll be like back airs and stuff like that, like back airs, maybe down airs. They're spaced in a way where like the shine isn't needed because they're outside the opponent's immediate counterattack range, similar to the one you're doing here, but they tend to be a little more delayed. Do you ever see them do stuff like that?
Yeah, usually I think so. I think I know what you mean, where they're like kind of just like spaced in a way like you described. I definitely think I've seen that.
Yeah. What do you think that I haven't seen you really go for that? Why not? What do you think? What about it doesn't appeal to you?
I think I just really, really want the shine, honestly. I'm not really thinking about like hitting them and then converting. I'm mainly thinking like I want to hit them with like a shine to like pop up and start something. So when I hit their shield, that's usually like what I'm trying to go for, or I'm like trying to get something after the shield.
Gotcha.
It's like them jumping out of the shield or them moving out of the shield.
Gotcha. Would you say Fox's up smash hits about here?
Um,
Like maybe about here?
yeah, I'd say so. Maybe a tiny bit further, but yeah, that looks about right.
Okay, cool. So we'll give him a little bit more. We'll go like here. Like about more in front or more like where?
Definitely like where you're drawing.
Okay, cool. So like, gotcha. So more in front. So let's say that this is his up smash at his shield range. This orange curve kind of thing. So my question here is, if you do your aerials, like let's say you are doing your back airs and stuff, outside of this, like so that your character is here at the end, like your hurt box is probably like this block. So you're not really able to be hit. So like you're able to hit his shield with like your back airs as you're doing like on his shield. But like and afterwards, if you want to continue pressuring, you can probably like you can probably do whatever, like up tilt to cover options, maybe like hit the edge here, but you're not really able to be hit by his up smash out of shield directly. What is his fastest way of punishing you? Like how can he reach you?
He'd probably have to wave dash forward after the shield connects, or like he could spot dodge and then do something afterwards.
Does spot dodge do anything to our back air? Or like up tilt?
Um, I mean, if he expects the thing and then does it like right before I put the move out, but if I already hit his shield, then that doesn't really do anything.
Oh, so the reason I'm asking is because Falco's up tilt completes on I think 24 or 25. So and spot dodge completes on 22. So I'm thinking that 3 frames isn't enough time for him to actually get anything on you. Like you'd have to do it like significantly in advance.
Yeah.
So that's really difficult then. Like that's probably not, like back air is not going to work because it's an aerial. Like I think we can agree that. But
yeah.
But I like assuming we hit the L cancel. So up tilt is kind of like up tilt's providing a certain amount of range. So it's really just wave dashing, right? Like that's the big one.
Yeah, pretty much the only thing I could really think about, or like him jumping away somehow. But it's mainly just wave dashing.
Well, jumping away doesn't really let him hit us though. So we don't really have to.
Yeah.
We're not afraid of his counterattack. So
yeah,
do you think? And if he tries to wave dash out of shield between the back air and the up tilt, we probably frame trap him. Like our back air is very safe on shield. It's probably like -3 or so, similar to Fox's. Up tilt hits on 5. Wave dash takes at least 13 to complete, plus any imperfections. But like if the shine isn't hitting till 14, so we have like we're like tremendously advantaged here, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I guess my question would be is, do you think that there's a way that we can vary our style of pressure? Because we have other options out of here. Like, it's risky, but we could also go for short hop laser, because that will also outrange this thing, his up smash and other immediate counterattacks, and give us better initiation on shield if we do it into him. If we space it, we can still do all the things we're doing here as well. Like laser into like immediately like dash away back flip back air, or laser into turn up tilt. Like we've got pretty powerful like not high pressure like shield pressure, but like safe shield pressure. And I think that with us constantly trying to hit the shine, do you think that we might be missing out on our ability to maintain advantage? Because with constantly trying to go for the shine, we're also putting ourselves into his shine out of shield range, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we have to back up a lot, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that like mixing this kind of style of pressure into your game, because I know Mango does this one a good amount, but do you think that there might be a benefit here for not having to interact with his counter hits as much?
Well, I'm definitely not going to be worried about like the counterattacks as much, and like I definitely think there's a lot of security in that because like I feel like I'm so like pressured into like doing good shield pressure into shine when I could just like lock them in place.
Yeah,
And
so
yeah,
like
I think it
13 frame
benefits.
minimum is huge. Like the fact that his shine does not hit until like his shine doesn't actually get you here until 14. Like that's so
well.
because he has to wave dash into you out of this position and then do it. Whereas if you're like right next to him, if your character model instead of being over here is here the whole time, that means his shine is hitting you on 4. So like the difference here in terms of like how much you have to worry about is staggering, because this one if you're at this range, you basically have to frame trap him. But at this range, you can poke him. You can just you can abuse the fact that his attacks are like close to his body and just like test him here. Is it easy? No, definitely not. But like the combination of up tilt, back air, laser, shine, you can turn around jab, you're spaced now. You've got down tilt shield poke, down smash shield poke. You still can go for grabs. Like there's nothing that stops you from dash jump cancel shining into him either if you want to go for that kind of setup too, because like your dash jump cancel probably goes from here to here. So you still have things that you can go for. But what you've done is you've like short up laser, I think, into dashing jump cancel shine is like the ginger or something. I know I've seen him like talk about that, but like you just have so many more options here that allow you to be safe before and like take your time before you need to like back off. Whereas if we're always like getting in super close, we are also like while we are playing to our biggest strength, we are also playing to Fox's biggest strength, which is his like out of shield speed.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so instead we're playing to his weakness here, which is his weaker range. So we're like using a little bit more of what he's bad at so that we can keep in our power position.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. It's actually very similar to some of the stuff we talked about versus like Samus and stuff, right? Because like it's the same idea of like why are we willingly putting ourselves in a spot where we have to interact with all of his like scariest tools?
I definitely just try and play the situations as they are instead of like really focusing on like what characters are bad at or weak at, and kind of attacking it from that angle.
Yeah, and I think that what we're learning is like as we fight stronger opponents, we need to like kind of be like one of the things, the Falco's superpower with his like lasers and like with his lasers, his good full hop, his down air, like his tools are difficult to interact with in some ways, but they're possible to interact with. So I think that with Falco, the name of the game is really to figure out what spots does the opponent, like in what ways does the opponent not interact with what I'm doing very effectively. Because he is out of the top tiers, I think he's actually the most upfront about what he's doing, because he shoots a laser at you. Like, you can see what's going on. But, yeah, that doesn't mean we have to necessarily be beholden to that. That was perfect. Yeah. I loved that. I love how you did that. Like, this conversion here. So how did we get that? So Okay, so nice back air. Like, we've got this pressure. See, and this is the thing, like, it feels like you're constantly forced to act when you don't want to. Because we do this, like, early aerial, but I feel like if we had just, like, if we'd been able to approach this situation a little differently. Like, let's see how this happens. So you get this back air, you get this shine on his shield. I'm almost wondering, like, could we just, like, shine into, like, was it worth it to double shine? Was it worth it to shine grab just to, like, just to, like, try to, punish him for holding shield, which he's done a lot, by the way. Or the double shine because it pushes him further away, and then allows you to, like, down air, rising nair away from him, and then you're kind of in that, like, more safe spacing. Because all you're trying to do is, for this spacing to work when you're behind him, all you're doing is just getting out of his back air out of shield range.
Yeah.
So then...
I'm pretty surprised I didn't go for a shine grab, because that's usually what I do, is, like, mix in the shine aerials and the shine grab. But I think maybe I did, like, the thing where I'm like, okay, he's doing this thing so much, where it's like he has to change it up now, but he doesn't have, like, a reason to change it up.
Yeah, like, we haven't shown him paper yet, so why would he get off rock?
Yeah.
Because I think I've seen you go for shine grabs, but they weren't, I don't think they were successful or did enough to punish him. So I think that, like, we have this misconception sometimes where it's like, I've shown him the option, he has to fear it. Nope. Does not work that way. Yeah. They might, but it isn't, unless they've, like, again, it's all a matter of who your opponent is and what their tolerance to, like, risk is. Or their tolerance to, like, just anxiety is. And I honestly think that with more feels-based players, and I don't know if that's him, but if he's been playing for a long time, I think that it's possible. With more feels-based players, a lot of times if they see you doing the mix-up, but they're still winning with their basic stuff, like, with their basics, a lot of times that's a cue for them to keep doing it. Because they're like, okay, they're trying to mix up, but they're not being successful, so now I definitely know that I've got a good read on, like, how I need to be playing against this person. So yeah, because they're doing the variations, but we're still, like, nailing it. I have a feeling I know how this other match is gonna go. My suspicion is it's gonna be very similar to that one, but you're not going to have as many combo opportunities.
This is pretty further down the line of the session, and I remember just getting wrecked. I think I got like 3 stocks, but I do get like opportunities like this, but I do kind of just drop them.
Why are we going for shine here? Like, why did we go for shine when he had to recover up like that? So, like, you go for this. This is all good. And then after this misses, like, what I'm thinking, like, where should we be landing realistically?
Like, where I should be landing? Just, like, by the ledge, like, there. What if we
land further...
a bit further back.
What if we lift... Because, like, I'm thinking if we land further back, we want to shine him this way.
Yeah.
Or we could even, like, up-tilt him, potentially, to try to, like, pick him up. And then have, like, control over which way we shine him. Because the second he touches this platform, like, we're kind of... Like, we don't really have the advantage state to work with anymore that, like, we need. Because he has his jump back. So I think that with this kind of setup, it's really important to nail... Like, the most important thing here, I think, is nailing the footing and making sure that we're on the right side of him. Because we could also potentially forward smash him, right? With him coming up like this, if we pull back and then, like, pull back even further, because we know that, like, once this misses, we can't hit him anyway. So if we pull back to, like, here, we could just F-smash forward and then, like, go for the gimp, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing there. Like, I think we go for combo a lot, but a lot of times we already have done all the work that our combo needed to do, which is get him to, like, not have a jump, be in a precarious position, but then we just have to convert.
Yeah.
And hitting up is not usually how you convert with Falco.
Yeah.
Usually it's down, and usually we want to hit down at some point. And the forward smash sets that up much better than the shine does.
I have been doing forward air into F smash and down smash at the ledge more than down air and like aerials recently. 'Cause I've played Fox a bit more since this session happened, but yeah,
Oh, you got
it
like,
does make a lot of sense though.
you got you got like 6%ed, I think. So you get this, then you get this knockdown, and then you go for this shine, and yeah, he's in spooky stun. He goes up in spooky stun for some reason? Okay, yeah. So
Yeah, it's very weird.
you did less than 7 damage. I know it says 7 damage, but it must have been like a half value or something, because he's he's supposed to be like knocked up if an attack does 7 does less than 7. That's how it the resets get figured out. I don't know what the solution is there. I think maybe it's like we just up tilt or be more mindful of percents. Like, I don't know, but honestly, and you were right on the border, so it is what it is. But yikes.
Yeah.
This was such a painful turnaround. What is the purpose of getting under him on this side plat anyway, though?
I think I was just looking for another up tilt, honestly,
Okay.
because these up tilts hit. And I'm like, okay, it's good to go for these. And then I'm not sure if I actually wanted to like go forward with the aerial or if that's or not aerial with the laser. But yeah, I definitely think it was just a weird play. Definitely was just still in up tilt mode.
Gotcha. So if we wind up under this platform here, like if we wind up like lasering under this platform and land here, like we're a bird, we've got a beak, we've got our weird. This is a bad bird drawing, but that's fine. And then we've got the laser going over us like here, because we shot high laser, which is fine. How realistically, what is like? How do we avoid Fox when he's up here? Like where do we have to go?
When I'm right there, usually it's like best to either move to center, or if I always see him dropping down, then like I throw out an up tilt maybe every once in a while. But usually like the go-to is just return to center and be in that one spot we talked about earlier, where like it's the fox short hopping off the side plat range. At least that's
Yeah.
where I think.
What if we're over here? Because I think we actually landed closer to like this way. Like I think we actually landed over here, so it's not trivial to get back to center. You know. Like, we have a lot of ground we have to cover, and he drills us coming at this angle. So, is there a, like, what else can we do? Because I think that we need to not be quite so greedy with our position, like, with what we're looking for on the platform. Because by doing that, by going for this dash dance to try to get back to center, granted it's a dash dance, but I think he still gets us, you know what I mean? Like, look at how far he hits us on our left side. So, what else could we do here?
The main thing is like if I can't escape and like I have to move away, like I'm either gonna be like in shield or like I like full hop up to the platform where he's at. But I could also just get like it again from there.
So,
But those are like the main things I'm thinking of.
why
Or
not
like go
dash?
to ledge.
Why not just dash dance over here?
Um,
Because, like,
I'm
remember,
not sure.
his main option coming off the platform is back air, right? Or drill. So,
Yeah.
back air, like, drill is going to hit, we'll use green for him. So, drill is going to hit, like, back air hit, like, drill hits kind of like in this line here. And then back air hits, like, a slightly more out of from that line, right? So, it kind of hits, like, this territory if he shield drops forward. So, my thinking is that, like, if this is the general space that he covers, then what we can do is we can just not interact with that at all by just dashing away from him.
Okay.
And then from here, we
Yeah,
can...
my brain was thinking like that green thing was flipped, so it covers like both the ground. Because like he could shield drop forward or like dash shield drop the other way. But I guess that he doesn't really have a reason to like go to ledge as much if I'm like in that position he sees me in.
Right, and the other thing I'd kind of comment is that, like, okay, let's say he does, like, see you running this way. He has to shield, like, he doesn't have a ton of air mobility out of his shield drop, right? So, like, if he's shield dropping like this and we just keep running to the left, like, does he get us? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, and he also can't like shield drop back air. Like he'd have to like
You'd have to come down
do
with, like,
something.
drill or nair or something.
Yeah, you'd have to do like a nair to even reach that far.
Yeah. And, like, and we're at 5, so, like, we're absolutely crouch canceling that. And then like
Yeah.
then that's good for us. And if he goes for drill, like honestly, like I feel like if we dash this way in this general direction, and then like as we get to about here, we could even turn around and short hop laser, like going the other way to to catch him as he exits the platform if we think that's what he's gonna do, or if we see that's what he's gonna do. And it just gives us a lot of like option, like a lot of control back from this match, because I think what we're right now we're basically just kind of reading where he's going, and we can do better than that. We need to like cover options more, and I think that this gives us like that double laser thing if we clip him. Because imagine he comes off this way, we hit him here, we just shoot another laser. Like we just as long as we're spaced, we can just shoot another laser, and then it proceed from there. We might be able to like forward tilt him if the laser connects close enough. Like we have control. The important thing is that he's not in the driver's seat anymore. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because right now we're trying to scrap with him in spots where he's already set up. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's really like, that is the thing that I find most offensive about Fox. Real talk. It takes so little for him to be set up. Like, he's just like, oh yeah, no, I got to a spot where I can do like any of my 3 good openers, and like, yeah, now I'm just gravy. And it's like, I hate you. Like, I just hate you.
Yeah, it feels so hard to like feel like I'm in that position that Fox seems to be in all the time.
I mean, like, the big thing that Fiction kept stressing when I was looking at like some of his content on the matchup is just like, we need to be willing to be more patient. Like, he is an extremely powerful offensive character. He's the best offensive character in the game. So, like, we kind of have to respect that a little bit. And just represent that, like, he just can't get in for free. Like, honestly, I love that full hop. I just wish we had down aired. Or, like, done something with it. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah. I'm not sure what I was doing. I usually always, like, full hop when I'm kind of, like, feeling the tension there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a mix-up whether I do an aerial or not.
Gotcha.
And, like, it's always like the top side is always like a safety-ness, I always think, for Falco.
And I get that, but like, look at we by going for that full hop, look at what we give up on the ground, because we hit a laser. Like, this is like the laser after this is so free. Like,
yeah.
And it gives us the ability to like get into like the Falco like one dash jump like short hop laser kind of range if we want it. We can play further back if we want that too. Like we're just giving up so much and kind of letting him have free reign on the ground, and we need to have the ground. If we're going to get offense started. So I just feel like also this was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. This is like a 2-stock. It's not
I
like
remember
good,
it feeling worse. I thought it was a 3-stock. Honestly, last time I saw.
I mean, it might be a low % 3-stock, but no, this is not that bad. Like,
yeah,
this is
not that bad.
This is good lasering. Like, in a second, we're gonna have this. Like, this approaching, after you do that approaching laser, I think that he's actually used his jump, hasn't he? Like his double jump.
Yeah, I think he did the instant double jump thing.
Yeah, so
not instant, but yeah.
So once he does that, honestly, up tilt. Just like if he's jumping above us at 24, I feel like gambling the up tilt is something we at least want to think about.
Okay.
Because like think about it, like if he goes for this, what are like
I did. I did talk with him after, because I also played him at one of the last tournaments I went to, the P+ Melee one, and he said like one of the main things I didn't do enough was up tilt. I think just mainly in spots like this, I used to like set up combos and stuff.
Yeah, so like let's actually do so this is, I think, the example that we want to use for our reference point, because I think that this is a good general guideline of like when it's good. So if we rewound this situation to get to here, what did we have to do? So we shot laser here, like that was the step. And then he jumped, and then he double jumped around it?
Yeah. I shot 2 lasers. I did one, he jumped over it, and I shot the other one, and then he double jumped over that one, I think.
Okay.
It's something strange like that.
You got shined into the corner. So you shot a laser here. Okay, so he was he was
pre-jumped.
So he preemptively jumped. Okay, so he was over here. He preemptively jumped. So this would be his 1. He goes to 2 by going here. And then you'd had on your 1, your 2. That's 1's your starting position. So then on 2, I guess you would shoot the laser. So short hop laser. And then I guess to deal with that on 3, he would then double jump here, which would be his 3. And then for you advancing short hop lasered. So yeah, short hop laser forward. So then on this one, the only thing I'd add is for step 4, up tilt. Because like he's above you, so where do you think you have to do the up tilt? Like where do you time it for? At what point in his fall do you think you time it? Like when he's here.
A little bit lower on his arch, like not exactly the peak, but like about when he's about to start falling. So like right there is usually like the indicator, because that's when he's like about to fall. And if he lands on the plat,
You're
then
safe.
like I can maybe do another one.
Well, you're safe. You either like roll away, you run away, you do another one. Like you have a mix up. You have a mix up to work with. Agreed. I think that like the big difference is what you do here is you dash dance, and I think you dash dance a lot. This is kind of the one I was thinking of on the side platform, by the way. I think you dash dance a lot because you're looking for these kinds of openings, and that could have been money. Like that could have led to a lot. But imagine if you had gotten up tilt on him there with no jump at 24. Like the world is your oyster at that point. He's so dead.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure if you remember the back air thing I was talking about, where like I try and back air Fox's nair and then get him hit in the head. that was the last session when we were talking about Samus and like her bomb. That was like an example of like that happening to me earlier.
Okay, so where's the nair that hits your back air?
Here, watch.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So he came off like that, and you're like, yeah, he bonked you. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So for those ones, we just have to move further away from him.
Yeah.
Or we move under the trajectory, because that's the other option, like under the short hop nair kind of like area, because that's the other thing we've talked about. Also, you almost get him to last stock. What on earth do you mean you got like smoked?
I could have sworn I got smoked. It felt so bad.
Sorry.
I think I only get 2 stocks, but it felt like a 3 stock for some reason.
Sorry, and this is an extremely competitive game. Like I
what? Swear Okay, maybe I picked a different Dreamland game.
I feel like this is the wrong VOD, but whatever. There was still good takeaways here.
I will definitely check. I'm gonna actually check my Slippy files, because I swear it was not that close.
Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna move on from this. So, show me. In our last couple of minutes, you've mentioned that you have some PM to show me, or P plus.
Yeah, P plus.
Is PM are PM and P plus different things? I know that's so boomer of me to ask, but I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
They're pretty much the same thing. It's like the extension. The only thing I know is different is like the balancing, and Knuckles is in the game. So.
Okay, so PM featuring Knuckles, P plus, better balancing. Noted.
Yeah. I'm getting an ad right now on the VOD.
That's okay.
Glitch.
That's okay.
And okay, it's finally gone.
Nice. So are you streaming it or?
No, it's I have like the VOD of it.
Sure. So send it my way. All right, perfect. And you came with the timestamp. See, this is why you're the GOAT. Okay, now I'm getting an ad. So you're Falco, clearly.
Yep. And yeah, we don't have to like pause or like do analysis. This was the first game, and they ended up winning, and I was just like pretty lost, because this is like the first time I'm ever playing like
good
P
Kirby.
plus Kirby in tournament. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what a P plus Kirby does. So here I was just kind of like learning. And they were doing like dash attacks off the side platform, like hitting me. and just general stuff like that. And after this game, no, I take a little bit of time to like kind of think about what happened, and I thought about like floating matchups in Melee. I thought about like Peach in specific, how like you could kind of just stay on the platform and wait for like floaties to like go up and try and hit you. And I start using the top plat a lot, like you see immediately the second game. And usually like when I lose a game, I don't really think about like doing stuff like that. Like to just like full on change because that first game was like me on the ground a ton.
I'm noticing that
To hear
yeah, I'm noticing that you're also using the laser off the platform extremely effectively. Like your laser placement coming down from top plat is like looks really really good. Have you thought about like trying to like transplant that into like your Melee game? Because I feel like with when you come off of top plat in Melee, it's usually not with that. Like, and this looks strong.
yeah, this was mainly like just me thinking about like Kirby or like what I was facing. Like I don't usually do this, but I just thought to do it. Like this feels like really different. I wouldn't have done this. I feel in P plus either, but this was just something I thought of like while in tournament.
That's super impressive. Like,
Yeah,
that's so
that's what
sick.
felt. Yeah, that's what felt so like I don't know reassuring about this because like I was just kind of like focused and like actually thinking about what was going on.
There was one time I played another Nest player, Seabass, on ranked, and it was when I was still learning the character, so I was like very new to him. But like I know that Seabass really likes the yo-yo glitch, and he got it started like he hit me with the up smash, he equipped the stomp jacket, and then was running to the edge to do thunder jacket. And I wanted to like I didn't know what to do because he had like I needed a solution, a way to like not let him have it. And then I remembered, wait a minute. So it doesn't work if you shield the attack that sets up the jacket. So then I ran over to the edge and I light shielded so that my shield covered the space that he was like hitting the ledge when he PK thundered at it, and it deactivated it because it had hit my shield. So then I was just
Yeah,
like, "Yo, I'm a genius!" Like,
yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like I just like discovered something and just like ran away with at least this game.
that's
Like I
amazing.
kind of yeah, like it just kind of feels like I flipped the script on like what was going on.
Yo, you
And
destroyed
I
him. That's so sick.
yeah.
Or
So
them,
it was like
rather.
yeah, them. I'm actually not sure pronouns were, but yeah.
It has it in the
Oh, they
book.
have them?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah. That's so awesome, though. Uh, I
And
would,
then
I would challenge you to try this in Melee.
okay. Yeah, that's definitely like what the plan is. Um just try and like it just kind of happened that like a lot of what talked about like being focused and all that it just kind of happened to be during like this P plus set. But yeah, and I feel like the kind of stuff similar to this has been kind of happening in Melee, where at least I'm like noticing something that the other player is doing, and I'm kind of like trying to attack it from like that aspect, or from like a character aspect too. It just feels like the game plan, quote unquote, is just a lot more stronger, and just like it feels a lot more fluid.
It's because it's more complete. Like when we get together, what I usually go over with you is so for example, I will definitely watch this more later, but I think this is something. I think this is a good spot where we can close. So, what I try to teach you, what I try to show you, is always just different ways that you can look at situations and use the game's natural mechanisms and natural systems to play a spot differently. We don't necessarily have to play to our character's strengths like to their highest potential. We can also play them in a way that like that acknowledges the limitations of the opponent's position. Um, the reason I think that's really important is because that is the glue that holds together our more powerful offensive pushes, because it stabilizes the moments when we don't have that as an option. So the way I view it is you're using what you're learning exactly the way I would hope anyone would, because it's you, it's in service of your play style, but it's also giving you new avenues to explore and attack characters' weaknesses and attack situations differently. That is my entire goal.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it definitely feels like it's working. Like especially during that set, like it felt like I said very reassuring, and I was very proud of that, which is why I wanted to show it to you.
It was like night and day. You looked amazing. I'm so glad that I. People think that coaches only ever want to see people like when their students aren't doing well, but like no, I love seeing my learners succeed. So like, thank you. Show me more of that. Like show me more examples of that going forward. And I think this is a good stopping point for now. But do you have anything you need from me before we wrap up, or how are you feeling overall?
Um, I'm thinking I'm feeling very good. Especially going over the Fox stuff, because that's what has been very like stifling, I guess. And like I said, you have been opening my eyes to like seeing those like other avenues I could take, especially with like the shield pressure stuff and all that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm very excited to like just get working on that stuff. I have a bunch of stuff like written down already.
Amazing.
So,
I will let you go then, but let's if you have any questions about the stuff we've gone over today, let me know. Let me know, and I'm around. Are we remind me? Are we on bi-weekly right now, or like what's our schedule right now?
so I'm trying to do weekly, but like I think first time or second time it came up, I just missed it
Okay.
because at a friend's place. Then afterwards, something happened on your end where you couldn't make the last one. So the schedule just been kind of all over the place.
Yeah. So
But usually I try and do every Friday.